The Galactic Council Chamber hummed with the usual cacophony of 1,000 different species, each contributing their own unique sound to the symphony of interstellar politics. Susan Martinez stood at the periphery of the Grand Hall, her human frame dwarfed by the towering cushions and the massive bulk of the Therogen delegates. She had learned long ago that humans were considered unremarkable in the grand scheme of the galaxy. Too soft, too weak, too emotional to be taken seriously among the apex predators and ancient civilizations that dominated known space. Lucas Chen, her research partner, stood beside her, tablet in hand, reviewing their proposal for the third time that hour. They had come to present a simple request: permission to establish a human research outpost on the frontier world of Dramore 7. It should have been routine. It was anything but. "They're not even looking at our data," Lucas muttered, frustration evident in his voice. Susan shrugged, a small smile playing at her lips. "What did you expect? We're humans. We've only been part of the Council for 30 standard years. Most of these species have been exploring space since before our ancestors discovered fire." What? Neither of them knew. What no one in the Council knew was that humanity's classification in the galactic hierarchy was catastrophically wrong. The error had occurred during first contact. A simple mistranslation in the biological assessment protocols. Humans had been classified as Tier 7 prey species. Non-threatening, herbivorous, weak. The truth was far more terrifying. But the bureaucracy of a galaxy-spanning civilization moved slowly, and the correction had been lost in committees for decades. The session droned on until a commotion near the entrance caught everyone's attention. A Vraxian hunting pack burst through the doors, their sleek reptilian bodies moving with predatory grace. The Vraxians were Tier 2 apex predators, feared throughout the galaxy for their hunting prowess and strict hierarchical culture. At the center of the pack, a small figure struggled against restraints. A Vraxian cub no more than 5 standard years old. "Honored Council," the pack leader hissed, her voice carrying across the chamber. "We seek judgment. This cub has committed the unthinkable. She has refused the hunt, rejected her birthright, and dishonored our entire lineage." The cub, whose scales were a lighter shade of green than the adults, trembled, but held her head high. "I will not hunt the weak," she declared, her young voice cracking with emotion. "I will not kill for honor when there is no honor in it." The council erupted in chaos. To refuse the hunt was to reject everything the Vraxians were. It was cultural suicide, a stain on the entire species. The pack leader crest flared with rage and shame. Susan felt something stir in her chest, an old human instinct that the galaxy had taught her to suppress. She stepped forward before Lucas could stop her. "Wait," she called out, her voice surprisingly clear in the massive chamber. Thousands of eyes turned to her, the Vraxian pack leader's gaze particularly withering. "This is not human concern, prey thing. Step back before you dishonor yourself." Susan's jaw tightened. That word, prey thing, she had heard countless times. But as she looked at the young cub, she saw something familiar in those alien eyes. Fear, determination, the desperate hope that someone, anyone, would understand. "On my world," Susan said, walking toward the center of the chamber, "we have a saying: it takes more courage to show mercy than to show strength." The pack leader laughed a harsh barking sound. "Human philosophy means nothing here. You know nothing of our ways, our hierarchy of the natural order, don't you?" Susan stopped a few meters from the cub. She knelt down, bringing herself to eye level with the young Vraxian. "What's your name, little one?" "Cyra," the cub whispered. "Cyra, why did you refuse the hunt?" The cub's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Because I watched them corner a Felixian family. The parents threw themselves at our pack to give their younglings time to escape. They died protecting their children. The adults said it was cowardice, that true predators don't sacrifice themselves. But I saw something else. I saw strength. I saw what I want to be." Susan nodded slowly. She stood and faced the pack leader. "You call me prey. You call my species weak. But you don't know us at all, do you?" "We know enough," the pack leader snarled. "Then let me enlighten you," Susan continued, her voice taking on a harder edge. "My species didn't claw our way to the top of our food chain because we were the strongest or the fastest. We did it because we never gave up. We did it because we protected our weak instead of abandoning them. We did it because we bonded with other species, wolves, horses, dogs, cats, and turned competitors into family." Lucas had moved closer, tablet now forgotten. He recognized the tone in Susan's voice. She was done playing by the galaxy's rules. "Humans are persistence hunters," Susan continued, her words echoing in the suddenly quiet chamber. We're endurance predators. We tracked prey for days until they collapsed from exhaustion. We threw rocks with such precision that we could kill from 100 meters away. We learned to cook our food, which gave us the energy to grow brains large enough to build civilizations, to split atoms to reach the stars. The pack leader crest was flattening, uncertainty creeping into her posture. And more than that, Susan said softly, we domesticated the predators of our world. We took wolves, creatures that hunted in packs that killed without mercy, and we turned them into companions who would die protecting human children. We didn't do it through strength. We did it through loyalty, through bond, through choosing each other. Cyra had stopped trembling. She was staring at Susan with something that looked like wonder. Susan knelt again, opening her arms. Cyra, you asked the question that no one else here understands. You're not broken. You're evolved. You've seen past the hunt to something greater, so I'll answer you. Yes, if you want, you can be mine. Not as prey, not as property, but as family. That's what humans do best. The chamber was silent. Then slowly, Cyra pulled free from her restraints and walked to Susan. The small Vraxian cub pressed her scaled head against Susan's shoulder, and a sound emerged from her throat. Not a hiss or a growl, but something suspiciously like a purr. The pack leader took a step back, her eyes wide. Impossible, she breathed. That sound. That's the bond call. It only happens when a Vraxian recognizes a higher-ranked predator as pack leader. But you're human. You're tier 7. We're tier 1, Lucas said quietly, his tablet now displaying the long-buried correction reports. We always have been. You just never bothered to check. The realization rippled through the council like a shock wave. Humans weren't prey. They were apex predators who had hidden in plain sight for 3 decades, letting the galaxy underestimate them while they learned, adapted, and waited. Susan stood, Cyra still clinging to her. The human research outpost on Dramore 7 is approved, she said. Not a question, but a statement. And Cyra comes with us. Any objections? No one spoke. As Susan and Lucas left the chamber, the small Vraxian cub between them, the galaxy began to realize what humanity had known all along. The most dangerous predator isn't the one with the biggest claws or the sharpest teeth. It's the one who decides that mercy is strength, that family is worth fighting for, and that the weak deserve protection. Behind them, the council erupted into frantic activity. Files were pulled, classifications reviewed, protocols rewritten. The humans had been among them for 30 years, quiet and unassuming, learning every secret, every weakness, every system, and they had done it all with smiles on their faces. Cyra looked up at Susan as they boarded their shuttle. Can you teach me? She asked. To be strong like humans? Susan smiled and ruffled the scales on the cub's head. You already are, little one. You already are. The shuttle lifted off, carrying them toward Dramore 7, toward the frontier, toward a future where one small act of courage had changed everything. Behind them, the galaxy was finally beginning to understand what it meant to be human, and they were terrified. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.